Hey, Chris here from criticalcast.com with another edition of the CritCast. You remember me, right? I know it's been a while since I recorded a video. I apologize for that. I don't really know why it's taken me so long, but for one reason or another, I just haven't made any recordings lately. Anyway, I figured I thought it would be a good idea to get these started back up again and hopefully get on some sort of regular recording schedule. And I kind of targeted today as the day to get this going again, because it's kind of a special day in terms of the site, criticalcast.com. This weekend actually marks the 8th anniversary of my first review posted on the site, the actual official start of the site, which was April 29th, 2004. My first review was for the Denzel Washington film Man on Fire, which I quite liked. It's been a while since I watched it, so I don't really know how well it has held up over the 8 years, but I do remember liking when I saw it way back in the theaters back in 2004. Anyway, I thought it would be nice to mark this anniversary, this occasion, with a little video. I don't know how many of you have been there from the beginning. I doubt very many of you. There's probably a lot of you that have read my stuff and not come back and somehow stumbled back across this video. I know there have been some rough spots along the way. There have been some poorly written reviews, some good stuff, some sad stuff. There's columns that have come and gone, you know, like when I used to write about the new DVD releases and the weekly new film releases and box office stuff, which frankly, you know, I kind of got tired of writing about those, so those columns just kind of faded away. I've also learned, especially from some of my friends who have read the site, that in order to get the most out of my site, it's probably best to read it while you're drunk. You probably notice I'm not very good at editing myself, you know, spelling mistakes or stuff that just doesn't make sense. I try, but it's never been one of my strengths. Anyway, it's been a great 8 years so far. Hopefully I'll be able to keep this going for as long as I'm around. I'd have a blast watching movies, writing about movies, listening to music, and writing about music, and the occasional TV stuff, anything else that comes up that I can write about on the site. Anyway, you know, it has been a while since I've posted a video. Figured I'd share a couple of movies that I've seen lately that you may have or have not seen that are definitely worth checking out, that aren't exactly necessarily the big Hollywood films. The first I saw a few weeks ago was called The Raid Redemption. It's an action film from Indonesia, and while it has the slimmest of stories, the action is phenomenal. So basically, if you like action movies, The Raid is definitely a movie you're definitely going to have to get out and see. Some of these fist fights and gunfights, it just makes your jaw drop, and it's essentially a 90-minute action sequence. You know, it's one of those movies that you don't see from Hollywood anymore. You know, the quick cuts aren't really there. You have guys that actually know how to fight, and it's just an exciting, fun thrill ride of a movie. The other one was Cabin in the Woods, which actually is my favorite movie of the year. I know that might be a little shocking to some people because I'm probably one of the few people who feel that way about it. But I know when me and my friends saw it last weekend, we actually wanted to sit back down in the theater and watch it again. You know, being horror fans, you know, it's this incredible deconstruction of the genre. It's analogous to what Scream did to the Halloween type movie. Cabin in the Woods does to the Evil Dead movie. It just takes a look at the genre, picks it apart. It's a lot of fun. It really makes you wonder what the heck is going on, because you don't really have any idea, and they keep twisting things on you, and there's little bits and references to other films and other elements of the genre that it's just, you know, if you like horror films, if you like films that are strange and weird and different, definitely see Cabin in the Woods. I highly recommend it, and it's right now it's the first 5-star movie I've given out this year. You know, those are the big ones that I've seen lately. This past weekend, I was able to see 3 films, which I've not yet written reviews for. I don't know if I'm going to write about all of them, but we'll see what happens. The first one of those I saw was, oh man, what did I see this weekend? Went completely blank. You know, I hate it when that happens. Oh yeah, the 5-Year Engagement, the new film from Nicholas Stoller and Jason Segel. That is a funny movie. I really enjoyed it. It's not quite what I expected. I generally expect like a movie I'm gonna laugh all the way through based on what those saw in those trailers, but that's not what it was. There's a little bit more of a reality to it. There's a bit more sentiment and feeling, and it's not all laughs. There is some dramatic elements to it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is a comedy, but it's a movie that touches on some real world relationship stuff in a rather absurdist and entertaining fashion. That's really really well written and definitely worth checking out. The next one I saw was The Raven, based on the stories of Edgar Allan Poe, and it's a fictional story set during the last days of Poe's life, which nothing is really known about. I have to say it's not that good of a film. There are some interesting, verbal barbs and trade-offs between some of the characters, with John Cusack as Poe earlier in the film. But for the most part, I thought the acting was flat. I thought the screenplay was bland, and I thought the idea of using Poe's stories to create this like copycat killer to get back at Poe or whatever was kind of lazy. It was kind of shorthand rather than trying to develop something new or fresh for that genre. And frankly, I think I probably would have been better off just going back and rewatching From Hell, because it sort of has that kind of a vibe to it. It also points out that I kind of wish that Caleb Carr's novel, The Alienist, would get optioned and adapted into a film. It's been years and years since I read the book, but I do remember really liking it and thinking that would make a really good film. The Alienist being the term used for early police forensics when they didn't have the word forensics, and how that was used to solve a serial killer case at the turn of the century. It was really quite a good book, and I think it would make a good film. I think I remember reading that it had been optioned at some point, but I'm not sure really what happened with that. Anyway, earlier today I went and saw Safe, the new action film from starring Jason Statham, and that movie was a lot of fun. There's not really a heck of a lot to it. Frankly, if this was made 25 years ago, this would have been made with Steven Seagal playing the lead. It's just a lot of fun. It's old school throwback action film, lots of violence, and actually really made me want to go watch some old Seagal films again. But if you like action films, that's definitely worth checking out. And it's not quite at the same level as The Raid, but if for action fans, especially those who like Statham films, it's definitely worth checking out. That's really pretty much all I got for you right now. I know I probably should have prepared something a little more to talk about with the anniversary of the site and the return of the CritCast, but hopefully I'll get back into more of a regular recording schedule and maybe get some more quick bits and pieces in, maybe some trailer reviews or something along those lines. So whatever. I hope you enjoyed this, and please be sure to check me out at criticaloutcast.com for some more full-length reviews that you should be drunk to read. Thanks.